Have you ever wondered what would happen if the world didn't end in some huge, spectacular explosion, but just fell apart? That's exactly what we're digging into today. We're breaking down the incredible opening chapters of Bill Vincent's post-apocalyptic novel, Survivors of the End. We're going to see how a totally normal day can just dissolve into an absolute nightmare, and how one person's mission can become the only thing that matters when the whole world goes dark. Man, that line just sets the tone, doesn't it? It hits you right away. This isn't your typical fiery Hollywood-style apocalypse. No, this is something way more chilling. The book paints this picture of a slow, grinding decay, like a building collapsing in slow motion. It's this idea that civilization just crumbled under its own weight, which is honestly a much scarier way to start this story. So how exactly does a world crumble? Well, the book shows us it's not really one single event. It's more like a terrifyingly fast chain reaction. Let's really look at how everything we take for granted can just vanish, going from a normal morning to absolute chaos in just a handful of hours. Okay, so we first see this world through the eyes of our main character, Zara, and everything is just normal. So relatable. You know, she's making coffee, she's texting her sister Ava, and she's seeing these crazy headlines about some mysterious illness and just brushing it off. It's that feeling we all have, right? That little bit of denial where you tell yourself, nah, something that bad could never happen here. Not to us. But that denial, it gets shattered and fast. In the morning, it's just a story on the news. By lunchtime, her friend is frantically calling, talking about martial law and stores being looted. And then, by the afternoon, boom. Explosions are literally rocking the city. A completely normal day turns into a desperate fight for survival, all in the time it takes to go to work and come home. It's insane. And what this all really means is that the rules, the unspoken rules that keep society running, they just vanished. The book describes these scenes of just pure panic, people pushing each other down, fighting over a can of soup, just running blindly in terror. In a flash, that social contract we all rely on was gone, revealing this terrifying truth. Everyone was now on their own. Okay, so we've seen the big picture, the world falling apart. But now, the story does something really brilliant. It zooms way, way in. It shifts the focus from this massive global catastrophe to something intensely personal, a mission that's going to drive our hero through all this chaos. And this is what really anchors the whole story. As Zara is running through this city that's literally exploding around her, her one and only thought is, I have to get to my sister. So when she finally makes it to Ava's apartment and finds it empty, the end of the world suddenly becomes a deeply personal crisis. Finding Ava is now the only thing in the universe that matters. So Zara's search is just this frantic scramble. She finds a panicked text from Ava, then a neighbor gives her this chilling warning to get out of the city before they lock it down. And then, the worst discovery, Ava's phone, just left behind on the couch. You know that's bad. Her only real lead is a total long shot, their parents' old abandoned house. And when she gets there, she finds Ava's jacket. It's proof she was there, but it's also this heartbreaking sign that she's gone again. That one little piece of hope, the jacket, is enough. It pushes Zara out into the ruins of the city, and now she's entering a whole new part of her journey. She has to learn to survive in a world that isn't just broken, but one that plays by a completely new and totally brutal set of rules. The sense of loss here is just wow. The city Zara knew, the one filled with noise and traffic and the comfort of her own home, it's just gone. What's left is described as a graveyard. But you know what's the most terrifying part? The silence. This constant, eerie silence that's a deafening reminder of everything and everyone that's been lost. And in that silence, paranoia just breeds. Every little sound, every gust of wind feels like a threat. So, in this new broken world, what's the most valuable thing you can have? It's not money, that's for sure. It's trust. But as the book points out, it's also become the most dangerous currency of all. Think about it. That basic idea that you can rely on the people around you, it's completely gone. Now it's all suspicion and fear. It's not just about what you've lost, it's about what every single person you meet could potentially take from you. And Zara learns this lesson the hard way almost immediately. She runs into another survivor, an older guy who's picking through the ruins, and he gives her this grim piece of advice. He tells her the idea of us is dead. It's only me now. This becomes the new golden rule of survival, basically confirming all the terror she's been feeling inside. But here's the thing. That harsh rule, trust no one, gets put to the test right away. Because as Zara keeps going, she starts to realize something else.
being completely alone might be just as deadly as trusting the wrong person. And that's what leads to the start of a very, very fragile alliance. So let's meet the team, right? First, you've got Zara, our hero, who is laser-focused on one thing, finding Ava. Then she meets Jake. He's a survivor too, but he's super wary because his last group completely imploded from paranoia and betrayal. And rounding out this little trio is Leah, a younger survivor who trusts absolutely no one, and for a very good reason. She's on the run from some really bad people.
Now, this alliance doesn't just happen overnight. It's not like they all shook hands and became best friends. It starts with these super tense meetings, like when Zara and Jake first run into each other, both basically ready to fight to the death. They're constantly testing each other, hiding a little food here and there, telling stories about how they were betrayed in the past to justify not trusting each other now. The only reason they cooperate at all is pure, unfiltered desperation. So what could possibly force these three paranoid survivors to stick together? A bigger, scarier threat. Leah confirms what they've all been hearing as rumors. There's a violent, armed gang just roaming the city, taking whatever and whoever they want. And all of a sudden, the risk of trusting each other seems a whole lot smaller than the certainty of getting killed if that gang finds them alone. This shared enemy forces them to make a huge decision. And it sets up the whole next part of their story. They have to leave the nightmare they know for a future that is a complete and total mystery. And what are they heading towards? Well, it's based on the thinnest thread of hope imaginable. Leah mentions hearing these whispers, these rumors, of a community out west that's actually safe and functioning. It's a total long shot. It could just be a story people tell to feel better. But it's the only other option besides staying put and waiting for that gang to find them. It's a massive gamble they just have to take. And that's where we're left. It all comes down to this one question. You've got this tiny, fragile group of strangers who have every single reason in the world not to trust one another, and they're heading out into the great unknown. In a world where being paranoid is literally a survival skill, is there any way they can actually hold it together, or is it just a matter of time before they tear each other apart, just like everyone else?